I'm in an age gap relationship now, and I was curious if there's anyone else at the table that has, or if they had thoughts on whether it's good or bad, or maybe any negative benefits. I think there's pros and cons for it. I don't think mine is necessarily a con, but I was just curious to your guys' thoughts on it.
What is your gap?
13 years.
Who's older?
You're 31?
Yep, so he's 44.
Okay. Anybody object to that relationship?
No, I was in
If that's what works for her, that's what works
Yeah.
for her.
Oh, speaking of which, well, does anybody object to that age gap relationship?
No,
You said it was 11?
20-year age gap relationship.
Yeah.
20 years. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Do we think that it could be, do you think because obviously I'm older, he's older, it's okay, but it would be different if I was
Yes.
like, you know, 18,
Yes,
19?
absolutely.
Yes.
I was in a relationship with a 26-year-old when I was 18, and then then I was in a relationship with a 45-year-old when I was 22. But yeah, no, I don't see any problem as long as it's 18 up, 18, and that's what it is. That's, yeah.
You have a problem with that, don't you?
Yes.
Bree?
It's weird. I was with somebody, I had turned 18 like 3 days into turning 18, and he was 33, and I feel like he saw a vulnerable young girl and was like, this girl's easy to convince to do whatever I want. And I think that's how most of them see it. So I think that's not good. But your situation is different because you're 31. So at that age, it's like, okay.
So do you think that it should be illegal, or it's just like yucky?
It's just yucky. It's not
You wouldn't
illegal.
change the law or anything like that?
No, I just think it's kind of like, like why
Gives
are you
her the
going?
ick.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of celebrities, and they have like these secret parties, and they pick up I can't say names, but they pick up girls that are just turned 18, 19-year-old girls, and they're 40, 45, 50, like they're big name people, and there's not a single girl in there that's over 23.
So you don't like how it feels, but you don't think, I mean, why not just change the law then? Why not just make it illegal? Do you think that 18-year-old girls can't consent?
I just feel like they're so young that it's easy to convince them to do what you want them to do. And
So should
I
you
saw
push
it.
the age
in
of
that.
consent up?
Wouldn't it keep
not-
going
Can I-
up and
can I
up
jump in?
eventually?
Yeah.
Like, it would keep,
Yeah,
I think
like
it's
I
like
feel like
partially
I'm 21
that.
and then...
And there's like a lot of things that make somebody vulnerable or easy to manipulate. Like age is just one factor, and like creepy men, creepy women, creepy people will be creepy to vulnerable people no matter like what is making them vulnerable. So
Right.
even if you just take access away from like very young people who want to be creeps, people who want an unfair power dynamic in their relationship, like they will still seek out somebody that they feel they have some upper hand on.
Would you guys feel the same if it was a guy that was 18?
Yeah.
If it was a guy that was 18?
Yeah, it's still weird. Yeah, it's still weird.
What's the age where it starts to get weird?
Like
Like an 18-year-old
like
guy
the age
dating
gap
a...
or age, because I think it's kind of relative.
Yeah, the gap
to
kind of
how
changes as
old
you get older.
I mean, like
Yeah.
Elvis was dating Priscilla when she was 15, and that
that
was
shit
like
was
way back
weird.
then, right?
What do you think
So
is
it's
the-
been like it's kind of been like that for a long time, especially in Hollywood.
But like an
and stuff
18-year-old
that.
guy can date a 30-year-old, and that's weird, or no?
I don't think
Like,
that's weird.
like,
I don't
it's like-
think I did it. Yeah,
50?
I was the pursuer. I was chasing after them, and they were like surprised. I was like, oh, after the 40-year-old, and I'm like, no, I want a 40-year-old. They're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. But I know exactly what I'm talking about,
Right.
and that's what I want.
That is
There
weird.
are
Yeah, exactly.
18-year-old mature women,
Yeah.
and then there are 18-year-old like naive and
Yeah.
malleable
Correct.
women, and like
I
it
definitely agree
exists.
with that.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I knew
Now,
what I wanted.
it's going to be more likely that an 18-year-old is more innocent and vulnerable than a 25 or 30-year-old. I agree, but that it's like even if you have that feeling, okay, do you change the law then, or do you just like feel weird about it?
I just think that we should all agree that it's weird. You
I
don't
don't-
have to change the law.
I don't think it's weird. I think
I think like Drea Michelle, she's like 44 dating like a 21-year-old NBA guy. That is so weird.
What if the 18-year-old was pursuing after the 40-year-old? Like, is that like weird? Like, what if the 40-year-old's like, whoa, I'm surprised you really like me. No, I really do.
Why does
Like,
the 40-year-old like? Why would the 40-year-old look at a little 18-year-old and be like, yes, this is exactly?
I mean,
what I want."
What if
you're
like,
saying
like
the
a
40-year-old's the
she-old's
guy?
choice?
guy, girl, whatever.
I mean, look, obviously everybody's different, so there can be like a busted 18-year-old, and there could be somebody that's like, you know, beautiful and like awesome personality, whatever. But generally speaking, guys prefer younger women because it, like, you know, it evokes a biological response to like, you know, what's the word? I guess you could say purity. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
and that's generally speaking going to be more attractive to men. I don't know why. I mean, if I was a 18-year-old, I mean, guys fetishize older women too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, MILFs.
Yeah,
I love the MILFs.
Yeah, so 18-year-old might be with a 45-year-old woman too. I don't think there's like a big deal in that though.
Well, I'm 22 and I have a lot of 19-year-old and 20-year-old guys that it's usually 19 or 20-year-old guys that want me, and I just can't do it. Like
You don't like young guys or what?
It's just weird. It feels
That's only
weird.
3 years younger than you.
I know, and imagine
she would be a predator if she
it's not
dated a
predator,
guy
it's
who's just a
like,
year or two
I just
younger.
Most
see
girls
it.
like older guys anyway.
I don't relate to a little
Like older than them.
19-year-old.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I
the
wouldn't say
age
that. I think some
cap
women like
should be
younger
for an
guys.
18-year-old
Yeah?
to date.
Yeah.
Maybe after they hit a certain age.
18-year-old max should be like
don't know.
25. 25 max for an 18-year-old. That's not
Interesting.
bad.
Well, we have something to react to here, Nick, if you can pull it up. So make it one bigger, please.
Who is this?
I don't know if any of you know who this boomer
that?
is.
Yeah.
Kristen. We'll come back to
Very
it.
Nickelodeon
handsome.
donated $100. Is it icky to make 18-year bimbo stepdaughter corn vids? Are Molly and Demi the victims or the predators?
Bimbos.
Neither. We are the creators of art.
It is funny, though, like, everyone will be clutching their pearls if, like, an 18-year-old or 19-year-old woman is dating a guy who's 30, but they have no problem with her shooting porn with that man and distributing it willy-nilly.
Well, that's also an act.
Yeah, sex is like a
Forza
one-off, but a
donated
whole relationship.
$100. How can you
Okay,
date
That's what I'm
someone
saying.
when the
'Cause I'm
internet is
cool
your
with the age
daddy?
gap.
So your argument is that it's worse for a woman to be in a loving, monogamous, caring relationship
Well, I
if
didn't
she's
say
18
loving,
and
monogamous,
he's 30.
caring. I said
Let's
I
assume. Let's assume.
Okay, if you have sex with somebody on set, right, for a corn shoot, let's
Yeah,
say.
and-
So I'm there. We're both there doing our job,
Okay.
and that's that.
Is
But
that
in a
better
relationship,
than?
I think. Well,
you think that's better?
I'm not even talking about necessarily like age, like just age gaps, but when you talk about like relationships that are like pairings that are icky and weird, I think it's like ickier to be in a whole relationship where like it's just the door is open for control and manipulation
I
and to
agree,
have
yeah.
your
Yeah, but
hand in our personal life.
It could be a whole
whereas you
industry
just-
doing
you
that to an
have-
18-year-old though, right? Instead of just one
But
man.
that's not
who
what we're
she-
talking about, is it?
What do you mean?
We're talking about age gap relationships, and is
saying
it
that an
creepy to have
18-year-old
sex, or is it creepy to be in a relationship?
Well, he said to do corn, right? So an 18-year-old that makes that career choice, if it's equally odd or if it's peculiar that she's going to be dating an older guy because of the chance that he's going to manipulate her,
I think there's a lot of industries that manipulate and take advantage of young women. I don't think corn is the only one. So I wouldn't like
So how would a
compare.
man
I wouldn't
that dates her
compare
manipulate
like
her?
saying that like, oh, like the industry is just like an abusive boyfriend to these women. Like that's not an accurate representation at all.
Could I jump in really quick? Couldn't we make an argument that while you're making the content, it's almost promoting like the worst aspect of that potential relationship? Meaning, where Brian was saying, you know, is it worse if you're actually in the relationship, assuming it's good and monogamous and all of the good things, versus the content? Couldn't we say that the content is really just taking like the worst part of what that relationship could potentially be and amplifying it for someone's pleasure?
Sex?
I think that's what is. That's what fetishes are.
Yeah, I was gonna
it's
say
that.
taking your deep, dark shame and kind of putting it out there and turning it into art, something good. And I think is acting. It's a form of acting, and something that I learned in acting class was that Shakespeare Shakespeare did plays, and he would write these crazy scripts with murders and all this stuff that people would not normally do in their daily lives, so that people could watch it, feel the emotions that they're feeling while they're watching this, so they get that experience, but they don't actually have to do that thing. And I think that's what porn provides, especially fetish porn provides for a lot of people.
And understanding that it's fantasy. It's not.
Yeah.
I love
fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy.
that.
So
Made
fantasy.
so much sense, Molly.